So we're going to be making our countdown calendar. So you will have 2 blocks, and this is what the numbers are going to go on. So we're going to use Victorian lace, and we're going to put 2 coats on. What I suggest is hold it like this, and then paint these 4 sides, put it down on the unpainted sides. So I'm going to start doing that. So you want nice even strokes in the same direction, and watch for drips on the ends. So here and here, every once in a while you just want to run your brush along there so that if there's any drips, it catches it. So I have my 4 sides painted. I'm going to put it down on one of the unpainted sides, and then I'm going to move to my next one. Once I'm done this, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do these 2 sides, and I'm just going to keep going back and forth until I have 2 coats on all 6 sides of each block. So I am done putting 2 coats of paint on my blocks. And one thing you can do is in between coats, you can take a blow dryer to it to speed up the drying process. You can do that when you're painting, but you can't do that when you put a stencil on. So what I did is in between I blow dried so that it just sped up the process. So now I'm going to go onto my black on the base. And again, this will take 2 coats, but the black has really good coverage. So I think what I would do is I'm going to do the 2 ends first. And they're the ones that are going to actually take the most paint, just because it's an end piece. And again, I'm just going to take my brush and go around the edge in case there's some drips. I'm going to go to the other end. Sometimes in the end you have to almost dab to get into all those little grooves. Run my brush around, make sure there's no globs. And then I think I'm going to do one of the shorter sides. And again, paint in the same direction. If you have to dab into some of those little pockets, you can. Run it so there's no drips. And then I'm going to set it down. And I think I'm going to do this side. You can do it whatever way you want. I'm just going to move these out of the way because sometimes your paint splatters and you don't really want to get the black on the white there. And you notice I have sticks underneath so it doesn't stick to the paper. And then I'm going to do the top. Then I'll take a blow dryer to it, dry it all, and continue doing all my sides 2 coats. Just make sure there's no drips. So I've applied 2 coats, however, I changed my mind. I didn't put 2 coats on the bottom because no one's going to see it. So I put 2 coats on the ends and then the 3 sides. So now I'm going to move back to the blocks that are going to have the numbers. You will notice in your kit that we have them set out in 2 separate pieces. The reason for that is it's really important. You're going to put all of the blocks or all of the numbers on one block, and then you're going to put all these other numbers on the other block. If you mix them up, it's not going to work when you do your countdown. One other thing that's really important is you will notice that there is no number 9 because we only have a total of 12 sides to put numbers on. So what you do is when you need a number 9, you're going to take the 6 and you're just going to turn it upside down to become a 9. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my sandpaper and I'm going to give a light sand to all the sides. This is just to get the fibers off. Okay, so I'll show you. I'm going to take the one number. Okay, I'm going to put this over here with this block so that I don't get them mixed up. I'm going to line it up so when I take it off, there shouldn't be any black left. It should be white. And this is our transfer right here. I'm going to line it up on my sides and I'm going to rub it down. You don't have to rub really hard because if you rub too hard, it's actually going to activate the glue. So I'm just going to rub it down and peel off the white, which is called transfer tape. And again, you shouldn't have, if the black stuck to your transfer tape here, you'd have to put it back down and rub it. So to see how it kind of came up there, see how it's lifting? I'm just going to put it back down and I'm going to rub it. Then I'm going to go to the next side. And I'm going to continue until I have all 6 sides with numbers on them. Put this on. Take my transfer tape and pull. It's lifting a little bit there, so I'm going to rub it down. You don't have to rub really hard, just enough. So I'm going to continue in this way. It doesn't matter which way you put them, you know. Like, look at, I have my 0 going this way, I have my 6 going this way. Because you're only going to see the one side. But if you want them all the same, so I have my 6 going this way, I'm going to put my 1 going this way. Okay, so I have my 6, my 1, put my 7 on, and again my 1's going this way, so I'll put my 7 going this way. And then on the 2 ends, it doesn't really matter which way you put them. So now I have my 1 block done. I'm going to go back to my white. And why we're going to put the white on is it's going to act like a sealant, or it's going to make it that there's not as much paint bleed, hopefully no paint bleed underneath it. So we're just going to do a light coat. It doesn't have to be really heavy. And we're doing it with the white, which is the same color as my block. So whatever color your block is, you will do that on all of them. So as I told you not to wash your white yet, because now we're going to put that onto our black, and it's hard for you to see in the video, but so you don't want a lot of paint on your brush because that's when it gets underneath the stencil. So we're just going to do a light coat. So to make sure you don't have too much on your brush, what you can do is dip it in your paint and then take a little bit off on the edge, the rim of the container. And with some of this, I'm almost dabbing to get into those corners because there's a lot of corners in the lettering. So sometimes instead of just painting, you're going to dab it in. And I'm actually just going to take off from around the edge. I'm not even going to dip into the very bottom. And I'm going to let that dry. Now I've already washed my you only have 2 brushes, so I washed the other one. When I'm done with the white, I'm going to wash it to use with the other colors. So now I'm going to use my Bayberry color on this whole block, and I'll use Winchester on this block. So I'm going to put Winchester over there. I'm going to, so that I don't get mixed up, but I don't have another brush to do this right now. So you're going to do the same technique. Again, dip in. You notice I took a little bit off on the rim, so I don't have too much on my brush. And I'm going to do a coat. So I would do that with all of my numbers. And then once I have my white brush clean, I would do it with all my numbers with Winchester. So I've taken the vinyl off of the one block, and I'll show you how you're going to do this. So when you're taking it off, you're just going to grab it and you're going to pull. You don't have to be really, really careful about it. But you'll see that there's certain that won't come off, such as the middle of your A and your R and so forth. So you're going to use a utility knife. If you are a child, you should probably get your parents to do this. Or you can use like a knife that has a sharp end. You could use a pin. So what you're going to do is you're going to go as parallel to the board as you can. You don't want to go like this because you're going to poke it and you'll put a hole in your board and you'll see that hole. So I'm going to go as parallel as I can. I always start at a corner and just push a little bit, and then you're going to pinch and bring it up. So you would do that on all of them. So same with the blocks. My 2, of course, there's nothing, it's going to just come off because there's nothing that I have to take off in between.